Ladies and gentlemen, always wonderful to have the man with the master plan, the gobbler from Gwinnett, now living in parts unknown, the one and only great Griff, right back here in Wenz World. Griff, welcome back to the show, man.
What's going on? It is what's the word? An honor to be here with you today, the Winds.
Doesn't get any better than with you, man. So let's talk about some NFL. We were together a couple weeks ago, couldn't get together last week, but a lot has transpired since our wild card round. And dude, you were so lights out with your predictions. It blew my mind. I'm humbled and honored to be in your presence today because you're so much smarter than me
You should
with
be. You should be.
all things.
Yeah,
And you're humble too.
the wild card round. Did I get all the games right?
Yeah, I think you hit a no hitter.
Look at that.
Lights out, man.
So if there's
Lights
one
out.
person to listen to,
It's you right
yeah,
now.
right.
But I want to know, you're a man of truth and integrity. So I want to know, how correct were you last week in the divisional rounds? Let's go through them. I
Let's
want to
go through them.
see
Okay.
how many you would have been right on here. All
Okay.
right. So we'll start first with the Ravens and Bills. You knew my Super Bowl pick was Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I don't think you had much faith in Lamar Jackson. Rightly
No,
so. You were right. I was wrong. Would you have chosen the Bills to win this game?
I would have. Yeah. Totally Bills. Bills are the hot. They're the hot hand, baby. You got to roll with them.
Yeah, absolutely. 17-3, the final there. Lamar Jackson just couldn't get it done, man. He
The
was answering those questions all week, but at the end of the day, he couldn't do it. And you were right. Lamar Jackson may be the next Carson Wentz. Wentz 2.0, baby.
Carson Wentz. The Ravens have a quarterback problem. It's not
Mm,
good. If Deshaun Watson, or dare I say Jimmy Garoppolo, or dare I say Nick Foles was on that team,
mm.
they'd still be alive.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Hot, not even hot. I'd say lukewarm there because many
Lukewarm.
people would agree with you after that performance or
Yeah.
lack thereof. Let's keep it on the AFC side. The Chiefs took care of business, man, much to my chagrin. I feel like in this one, you probably would have gone Chiefs. Am I correct?
The Chiefs, Browns. It was the Browns, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like 3 weeks ago already. Isn't it wild? Um, I probably would have gone with the Chiefs. I think you're right. You know me well, Wins. But how about? I'm sure we'll get into the Chiefs, but
Oh, dizzy. Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes, huh? He's playing this week. That's funny.
He was at practice on Wednesday, but sources say that anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And that game, though, I mean, you do have to give it to Andy Reid, that last play, when even Tony Romo, the one who predicts plays before they happen, it's like, oh, they're not going to do anything. Look at their body language. They're checked out.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
they snap the ball, get the first down. And
Quick outs to Tyreek Hill. Yep.
yeah, that was something. I wanted, obviously, I was rooting for the Browns.
5 points. 5 points. And they left one on the board.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this rule that we might see changing. They've been talking about it a lot on the NFL Network. The rule where you're diving, you're trying to reach the pylon, and there's a fumble, the ball goes into the end zone,
Right.
therefore, touchback.
Touchback.
What do you think about that rule? Do you think it's going to
Uh,
change? And that was the difference, man. 5 point swing. That touchdown is worth 6. So,
yeah, I think right after that happened, you look at social media, everyone from fans to analysts to former players, everyone saying this is the worst rule in sports.
mhm.
Everyone agrees on it besides the powers that be in the NFL, it seems. So let's get rid of it. Like, just because it's always been a certain way doesn't mean we have to keep it that way. We've changed other things. Let's change that rule. Why can't they just get the ball back where they fumbled it? Or we can create some type of other penalty, a loss of down or something, but to just lose the ball, that's very odd.
I'm also very offended by the pylon itself. I think we need a new look at the end zone. It's rectangular and orange. I just think that maybe we should switch it up. I'm just throwing that out there. Would you second that notion, or are you cool with the way it is?
What are the alternatives?
I mean, anything really. Maybe we could switch it up. Maybe the pylon is the colors of the team that's actually scoring during that
Oh,
quarter.
we do. You think we have the technology to make it like a what's the right word?
Paint.
Uh,
They could use paint.
like an
That's the newest technology.
interchangeable light type of thing.
Ooh,
Like
or
we
like
all
a rave. When you hit
we
the end zone, there's a rave, and
yeah.
everybody pulls out the Vicks Vapor Rub and all that.
I mean, these days, don't we have the ability to buy those what Philips Hue light bulbs that can change different colors with the touch of your phone or a remote? So we
That's
can't get that in
crazy.
the NFL, right?
Yeah, why
It's
not?
time. You're right. It's time. It's time. The everything on the field should be synchronized to the color of the team that has the ball.
Why not? And if there's an interception, you have somebody controlling the switch. Interception, fumble, somebody's pressing the button to where the colors
Wow.
change.
Why
Boom.
not? It would be more aesthetically pleasing. And football is a television show, anyways,
Yeah.
as we're seeing with Patrick Mahomes being able to play this week.
Oh, hold
So
on.
I think you're on to something.
So let's talk about Mahomie. Dude, I don't know about you, but there were about 1,500 memes within 15 minutes after that.
Right.
When he got up, I was legit concerned for the guy.
Well, it was odd because it didn't seem like he truly hit his head. So
No,
the
not at
fact that,
all.
but he was woozy. Something was off. I read a lot of articles about it this week, and there's lots of doctors who have different, opinions on what exactly happened. There's some who believe he didn't have a concussion, but there's some other type of medical things that can happen that cause basically the same effects of a concussion. And they were saying because of that, since it wasn't a true concussion in their opinion, that's why he's going to be cleared to play this week.
With
So
it was an alternative concussion.
yeah, it's something else you can hit and it makes you go woozy for a while. It's yeah, it looks like you had a concussion, but you didn't. You could get cleared faster, or is something more serious. Did a more serious injury happen? They're just shooting them up with the right steroids for this week and maybe for the Super Bowl. And when the season ends, we'll find out that he's truly really hurt.
So the question is, how efficient and effective can he be in his current state? I mean, we don't know anything more than what we can read online, right?
That's true.
But he's going against a fantastic Bills defense. They're lights out right now. Um,
The Bills, they remind me of a team. Last year's Chiefs team. That's who they remind me of.
flip that. Yeah, yeah, okay.
And yeah, the Bills are good. Don't sleep on the people are still sleeping on the Bills. They're
Bills
very
Mafia,
good.
baby. Yeah,
Josh
don't sleep
Allen
on
is
them.
playing MVP football. Yeah, in Mahomes, there's also the issue with his toe, apparently, right? Something with his foot, his toe. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if he's at 100%. Does he need to be at 100%? If I mean, he's so good. Is an 80% or 70% Patrick Mahomes good enough to get that team to the Super Bowl?
Mm,
Possibly.
no, that's tough. That's tough. It's interesting too because when you look at this game that the Bills played last week against your beloved Baltimore, or your comrade at work, beloved Baltimore, Josh Allen only had one more touchdown than Lamar Jackson. Isn't that crazy?
Uh,
Like,
isn't that
but they get
crazy?
it done because their defense is so good.
The defense is good, right? And Josh Allen does what he has to do. He
And
can actually
so,
throw the ball, though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's just going to look a little bit different this week for Kansas City. And you got to wonder, is Andy Reid thinking, okay, we're going to leave it a game time decision. We already know what we're going to do. Like you said, great Griff, they're going to shoot him up with cortisone and everything else to make it possible for him to play. Because if it is something bigger than that, I think like that the hit to the neck is almost more troublesome than a hit to the head, because we've seen so many hits to the head. It's like commonplace now in the NFL. They go to the tent, maybe they're out for a week, they're back, okay, rinse and repeat. But this is something different. This seems like one of those things that happens every now and then that's really a call for concern. It just kind of makes you wonder, is there something going on with Mahomes that they haven't been talking about? Maybe he
Yeah,
took a shot,
exactly.
in practice or in another game that didn't show up. But I don't know, man. Even like in your view, what percentage Mahomes still makes it possible for the Chiefs to win this game?
They need him. They're gonna need him at like 75% at least. I think Patrick Mahomes at 100% is by far the best quarterback in the league
Mhm.
right now at this moment. But he's not going to be at 100%. We know that. He won't be at 100%. There's no way. Um, will that be good enough to beat the Bills? 75% Mahomes, 75%, I think so. Anything less than that, I don't know. Something that the Chiefs have going for them and the Bills have going against them is kind of history. The
Mm,
Bills are much like my beloved Atlanta Braves. They're chokers. Back in the 90s, I mean, they at least made it to the Super Bowl. Was it 4 times in a row?
yeah,
Didn't win one?
poor
Um,
Marv.
I know we're a generation now separated from that. We're beyond that. But those players know the history of the team they've been on. I don't care what they say, it's a human element that's involved here. They know in the back of their mind, there is a little inkling that the team they play for usually chokes on the big stage. This is the biggest stage these Buffalo Bills have ever played on. It's a pretty young team, huge stage, and they know in the back of their mind this team chokes. I want to prove that wrong and change the narrative of the Buffalo Bills, but Josh Allen, will he be able to do that? I don't know, man.
Look, man,
I
I don't
don't
know.
know. If I'm the Bills, I am going after Mahomes
Oh
like
yeah,
all out, trying to get him knocked out of that game as early
yep,
as possible.
yep.
Because if Chad Henne comes in, say like second quarter,
How long can he keep it going?
right. He kept it going. He was about at his. We saw his limit last week. He about ran out of juice there. The Browns were going to come back and win that game.
I know.
If that game went one more quarter, Browns would win the game. No question in my mind. So yeah, can they get Mahomes out of the game and make Chad Henne win it? Because that ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Kansas City, at what percentage point there, a 75% Pat Mahomes, at what point is it beneficial to start Chad? And at what point is it going to be
Ooh,
detrimental to start Pat?
no, if Patrick Mahomes is cleared to play, which he is at this point, if he's walking, if he can say his
If he has a
ABCs,
pulse.
he's playing. You're not putting Chad Henne in unless Patrick Mahomes is concussed again or like breaks his foot. There's no way. There's no way. You ride Mahomes is your ride or die. You go with him.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. I think the league is hiding whatever's happening because he's so good for ratings
Oh, of
that no
course.
matter what happens to Pat Mahomes, they're going to make sure he's on the field.
Right. Right.
Now, whereas if this were a backup quarterback situation for the other team and it was a no-namer coming in and he was concussed last week, that dude is not playing this week because their
No.
stances are pick and choose, all depending on what the best outcome for them as far as face wise goes for Goodell. But
Of
I
course.
go off sometimes. I do.
I think you're right. It's a television show, and they want their stars to be on the TV show this week.
Speaking of the stars, Griff, we're going to see two stars, two future Hall of Famers. I'm telling you, they're going to leave home and they're going to do something with their lives, Pa. They're going to do it. It's going to be Aaron versus Tom, Tom versus Aaron, the number one, the number two. What say you?
At last, a playoff matchup between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and it's not even the Super Bowl. It's
No.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Uh, man, I'm rooting for Tom Brady and the Bucs to win this game. I want them to win this game. I want Tom Brady to be able to, kind of stick it to Belichick, if you will. I like Belichick, but I mean, come on, Brady's cool. He's the GOAT. How great
Oh,
would it be? How
let's
great?
revisit that. Remind me. Go ahead.
How great would it be to see him win a ring with another team in his first year, and then he'd get to do it in Tampa because that's where the Super Bowl is this year. But I think the Bucs are going to have their hands full. My heart says Bucs. My head says Packers. I think I hate it, man. The Packers are really good, and like I feel like they're almost good without trying. It's just so nonchalant. It seems to come easy to them. I don't know if they've truly been tested at all this year. Have they really? Have there been any games where it's like, oh, I just think they're going to roll in this game. I think the Packers are going to win.
Yeah, there is one game that does create some doubt for me, and it's the game they played against Tampa Bay. I mean, they lost, I think it was 38-10 or
It was
something.
an ugly game. It was fairly early in the season.
40% of Aaron Rodgers' season-long interception count happened in that game.
Look at the wins coming with the stats.
Stats. You may want to research that for yourself, but if my math is correct, he had 5 interceptions all year, and he had 2 interceptions in that game alone.
Was he anticipating a rematch in the playoffs?
He already had the seeding in place. He's like, now if I lose this game and win that one,
I'm not kidding. He had to know. I mean, Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's a good chance if you're going to win a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I'm going to have to beat Tom Brady at some point. I'm not going to go all out in this game. This game really doesn't matter. It's a regular season game. We're going to roll through everyone else. Let's play it close to the vest in this regular season game against the Bucs. Let's not show them anything.
I like
fancy.
that. I like where your head is, Griff.
And then come the playoffs, that's when I'll go all out.
That's why they call you great. I agree. I think that's a great idea. I mean, wow, you just opened up my third eye.
No, I'm not kidding. I really think there's something to that. I think that happens in sports. We know it happens in. I feel like it happens in basketball some. I think it happens in NFL football too. Aaron Rodgers knew he was going to have to beat Tom Brady at some point to win a Super Bowl, whether it was in the wild card round, divisional round, or here it is, best case scenario for us as fans, the NFC Championship game. He knew it was coming. And I think he's gonna show up. Aaron Rodgers is in this year. He's like this cool cat. He's the cool guy, but you also kind of hate him, but you kind of love him.
Who hates Aaron Rodgers? Whoever hates Aaron Rodgers, I want to speak with you just on a friendly
I'm a 49ers
basis.
fan. I don't really care for the man.
I just respect him. I fear him as an Eagles fan, but I respect him when they're not playing.
I think respect and liking can be different.
Yeah, sure.
I dislike the guy.
There are a lot of people I respect and I don't like, and vice versa. So what's your final on this? You're going with the Pack. Go Pack, go.
Gosh, it's hard.
The
separation of head and heart is hard.
You could just be like the band, the head and the heart.
Right. I want the Bucs, but yeah, I think the Packers. I think there'll be plenty of points scored. I see it being, 42 to like 27. Packers going to the Super Bowl. Prediction. I won't make my Super Bowl prediction right now.
Okay.
But if Aaron Rodgers happens to make it to the Super Bowl and win it, couldn't you see him just walking away?
Oh, you should. Why would you come back?
Yeah. I'm done. I've done it all. I've won 2 Super Bowls. You got your quarterback of the future in Jordan Love, you think. Peace out.
Well, they traded up this last offseason to get him.
Right.
What's in Green Bay's mind? And if
Right.
you're Aaron Rodgers, like you said, right off in the sunset.
Go host Jeopardy.
Ooh.
He's filling in as a guest host. Stay
Let's
woke.
oh
Aaron Rodgers, the next full-time host of Jeopardy.
wow.
There you go.
And it
You
all
heard it here
started with the
first.
loss to Tampa Bay.
Yep.
All of this.
He foresaw Alex Trebek passing.
I don't know if we can continue, but we're going to try. I think the bottom line with this game, Great Griff, is can Tampa Bay stop Aaron Jones? Like, can
Yeah,
they
that's true.
stop this guy from moving piles? He's a monster, and this guy wants a Super Bowl ring.
And he wants
He
to get paid
wants
in
the
the
ring,
offseason.
and he wants to get paid,
Yeah.
and he's going to get paid one way or the other. Whether
By
he's
the
wearing
Atlanta
green or
Falcons.
red, it doesn't matter. Yep. It's going to happen. So this game to me is going to come down to, can Tampa Bay slow Aaron Jones down? Because we already know the damage that Rodgers is going to do. I'm not even thinking about that. To me, this is going to be a quick game. I think the clock is going to roll. We're not going to see enough of Tom Brady for him to make that game-changing impact that we know he can. When I look at these two guys side by side, Rodgers and Brady, I think, okay, you got the GOAT and GOAT light. And depending on how you see these guys, one person could say that Rodgers is GOAT light, but why? Well, he doesn't have enough rings. Well, is Robert Ory better than Karl Malone because he has 7 championships? I'm not to say that we shit on Tom Brady, pardon my French, but there's something to that. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers is a better decision maker. I think he's a better scrambler. He's quicker. He's also younger.
He's younger. Yeah, he's younger.
But all
And
things,
his skill set is obviously better than Tom's.
I
Oh,
just trust Aaron Rodgers more than Tom Brady at this
oh
point.
my goodness.
Do
Oh
you trust
wow.
Tommy? You trust Tommy more than Aaron?
Look what yes, how many times has he gone down on the last drive of the game, not only to just win a regular season game, but to win Super Bowls? That's what he's known for. He
I
did it
just don't.
last week.
Here's the thing. I think Jair Alexander is going to shut Mike Evans down. And I think they're going to game plan for Gronk. And I think Tom Brady is going to get frustrated quickly because Green Bay is surprisingly a good defensive team this year.
Yeah.
They're able to shut teams down. And I think that 38-10 may have been a fluke. It could have been one of those situations that the great Griff said it was. It was just kind of like, hey, we're not going to show you what you're going to see. The problem with that is if you're Tampa Bay now, you showed them your whole house in that game that you whooped their butts 38-10.
Right.
But to me, it's like, what do you do differently if you're Tampa Bay? You know, do you come out with the same game plan? Because now Green Bay's seen the whole fold. So what do you do?
That's the question. I think that's the one Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich are going to have to game plan for come Sunday.
Also, can I just say, it's so weird to me how these like washed up, were never really good quarterbacks are now somehow like elevated to these levels where they're talking to Tom Brady about what to do. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah.
It's never made sense to me. I'm just like, why does this stuff happen? But yeah, what's your final score prediction on this game? Because I feel like we missed some things in the AFC that I still want to retouch on.
Oh, this one I think it's 42-27 Green Bay on their way to Tampa Bay.
Okay, what is your quick stat line? Like how you have, what's Tom Brady's line looking like? What's Rodgers looking like? And then the top yard getter and scorer on each side.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 9 touchdowns.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Devontae will have 2. And then those other the lizard guy will have 1.
The lizard lizard.
Mercedes will have another 1.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones will run for 5. Tom Brady is going to play as good of a game as possible. He, like you said, though, they could very easily neutralize Mike Evans. And then Antonio Brown out for the game.
Ooh, developing story there.
That's what I'm seeing on the line right now. That's what I'm seeing on the ticker. I'm seeing on the ticker currently Antonio Brown out for Sunday.
Ooh.
Um, so yeah, I think Brady. He like you said. I think we see a frustrated Tom Brady. A lot of yelling on the sidelines. Tom Brady.
Complaining.
He's going to play a good and a clean game as he can, but he's not going to have anyone to throw the ball to. And I think the Packers, like I said, they're going to roll and they're going to win.
Wow. Okay, so your line was about 15 points. So what's the stat line looking like for the running backs? Do you think Aaron Jones is going to have as big of a game as I think he's going to have?
Oh, I agree. Aaron Jones, he's on a mission, like you said. He wants a ring. He wants the money. Yeah, good game from Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones and we. Um, to me, I think the final score is going to be 31 scored by Green Bay to 28 Tampa Bay. I think we're going to
Close
see
game.
I think we're going to see 100-yard games from both sides. I think Aaron Jones is going to go off. I think Leonard Fournette's going to go off. And
Fournette.
look, I mean, you know, we might even see a little bit of left, right, left with Shady McCoy. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? But that developing story with AB being out, that's huge because I'm thinking that's a game changer. You put Antonio Brown in the slot and let him go against a nickel corner or a strong safety who's cheating a little bit towards the line, and that's game over right there. So the fact that that game-changing element is gone, that's why it's a 3-point game to me. Because I think with him in there, I almost would say it might be closer to a Tampa Bay win.
Oh,
But I
wow.
gotta stay true. But AB is a game changer like that. I mean, we've seen it, saw it in the playoffs this year. So to me, I think it's going to be a 3-point swing. Green Bay goes on. They play Buffalo. I want to talk a little bit more about this AFC situation because I don't know that we got a final score and stat line according to the great Griff, and I don't want to overlook that.
No, I do think the Bills are going to win the game. I think Patrick Mahomes, I think they were going to win even if last week did not happen to Patrick Mahomes. I think even a full strength Patrick Mahomes with this Chiefs team, which they're not as good as they were last year. The Bills are more like last year's Chiefs team, in my opinion. The Bills are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to come down late, but I like the Bills 32-28.
Ooh.
Bills advance to the big game.
We're not allowed to say the other thing on this show. We've gotten sued before. Thank you for.
Josh Allen will have 3 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs will catch 1. And I think Cole Beasley. Look out for Cole Beasley.
Ooh, a little Bees.
Beasley. And another guy, is it Gabrielle? I like him. Young guy, wide receiver for the Bills.
Is it Gabriel Davis?
Gabriel Davis. I call him Gabrielle.
Yeah, that's the female version of him. I mean, since there's a new executive order pushed in
these days, anything's
hey, and we love you regardless. This is not a show where
if you're good, play. I don't care.
Hey, I'm looking for the best eagle there can be. So if you're female looking for a position in the NFL, I'm cool with that. You benefit my team. Hey, if my team was full of transgender people and they were in one of these conference games, all about it. Thank you for helping us win. That's what I mean to say, Griff. For me, I just think Buffalo has so many weapons, and I don't know if Pat Mahomes is at 75. I don't know where he's at. And because I don't know, I think to myself, how much can Kansas City put on Henny's shoulders? He survived.
They can't put anything on it. They can't put anything.
And it's okay, can he survive for 4 quarters instead of 1 or 2 series kind of thing? To me, is I don't know. but the guy still has a LinkedIn account. That worries me if I'm Kansas City. Like, he should not have a LinkedIn account at this point in his career if he's serious about football.
True. That's a good point.
I'm thinking the amount of weapons that Buffalo has. You mentioned Diggs and Beasley, Davis, but I also think that we're going to see 2 rushing touchdowns by Josh Allen.
Oh, look at that. Look at
2
that.
rushing touchdowns, and I think one of them is going to be close to the goal line, and
One of
another
those
one is
goal
going to
line
be like,
ones where he dives in and
yeah, and another one's going to be a breakaway L1 R1 situation in Madden,
right.
and he's going to shine. But I think we're going to see some breakdown in coverage by Kansas City. We're going to see that look like, that was you, that was me. What we saw, which Aaron Rodgers took advantage of last week against Ramsey. That was brilliant, by the way. But I think Buffalo has too much here for Kansas City to match up against. And again, Pat Mahomes could be 50%. We don't know. And because of that, I almost feel like a shark in the tank saying, because of that, I'm out on Kansas City.
Oh, you're not going to make a pick?
I'm going to make a pick. I'm sorry. That was a lot of jibber jabber to get to this. I think Buffalo wins the game and plays Green Bay in Le Super Bowl, the big game. And I think Buffalo wins this game against Kansas City 27-21.
Wow. Wow. So we're agreeing. What kind of fun is that? We agree on our picks.
I don't know. Okay, what's your wackiest thing that's going to differentiate us this weekend?
What do you mean?
In these games, great question. In these games, what's going to happen that nobody would have seen coming? For instance, the snap with the Steelers against the Browns, the first snap of the game for Pittsburgh, that it goes into the end zone and it's a
Right.
touchdown for Cleveland.
Yeah. I don't know. It's off the top of my head. I don't.
Why not? You're supposed to know these things.
I'm not sure, man. What I'm worried is going to happen is we're going to have a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl, and wasn't that what the matchup of the first Super Bowl? And there's just going to be stories for 2 weeks about all this like nonsense. To me, that's the most insufferable potential matchup for the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. 1967. How many years is that? I don't even know.
I don't know. That was 20 years before I was born, so I don't care.
But you're so right. We're going to hear about this AFL NFL championship game.
All right.
And they're going to talk about players back then and somehow try and make it correlate to this game. That's absolutely no bearing on the outcome here.
They'll wheel out the one guy who's still alive from that
in a
game.
chair.
They'll flip the coin. Oh, isn't that so special? No one cares.
but it won't really flip. It'll like roll off his knee and then hit the turf, and they'll wonder forever, would that have changed the outcome of this game?
That's true.
That's it. So we have our picks. We're going to go through this weekend, and then we're going to get back for big game predictions.
It's kind of disappointing this weekend. We have to wait till late Sunday. I mean, the first game's not until 3:00 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like I have to spend my whole weekend with my family basically before I can watch any football.
Yeah, that's terrible. But if you were anything like me, you would have recorded those games, so now you can watch them again. So you can watch Mahomes do this bit again. I mean, for real. Like,
how many fingers am I holding up?
How many? 3, I think, ish. But always great to have the gobbler, the great Griff, here in Wenz World. But folks, if you've been with us for some time, you know we never, ever like to leave a segment with this man without the sage lyrical wisdom of one zombie, Tom Petty.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Beautiful.